you guys. Happy Thursday. Woo woo. Who's excited to learn about cardio today? Hey guys, tell me if you're live with me here in the group, watching me live. Comment with your name, where you're from. I'd love to know who's here with me live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay right now. Super excited to talk about cardio today. And I get a lot of questions about cardio. People who work with me, people who don't. How much cardio should they be doing? What kind of cardio? Is it conducive to weight loss? Is it important for health? Do they have to do it? They hate it, or they love it, but is it sabotaging their goals? And I kind of want to clarify all of that during today's training. And so I want you guys to know a little bit of background about me before I go into this topic. I used to be an avid runner, so I see so many benefits to cardio, as I'll talk about with the good here in a little bit. I used to coach track and field, cross country. I've done lots of half marathons. I was actually trained for the Marine Corps Marathon in DC until I got severely injured, and so I never got a chance to run it. But I'm the kind of girl that I've run the Broad Street Run in Philadelphia 4 times just so I could run it into a tent of soft pretzels, because I love soft pretzels more than anything, maybe as much as running. But yeah, I don't really run much anymore. Ever since I moved to South Florida 5 years ago, Florida's super flat. And when I run, I like to run on hills, which I know I'm crazy. But yeah, I don't run as much anymore. I'm really more about strength training, as you've probably seen in some of my posts. And I'm going to talk about why. And it'll be very evident during today's training why I emphasize strength over cardio. So let's jump right into the good, the bad, and the truth about cardio. And if you can't read my notes, don't worry. I'm going to be explaining all of them during today's training. So make sure you're taking some notes, because this is going to be super valuable for you and your goals going into 2021. So let's rock and roll. So the good for cardio. All right, actually, I'm going to go over here. All right, so obviously many of us know that doing cardiovascular exercise is going to build our cardiovascular endurance, okay? So it's going to improve our heart, right? Super important. So you guys know me, I always say this: health first and weight loss second, both with strategy. But for health, cardio is always beneficial. And the cool thing about cardio is there's all different kinds of ways to elevate our heart rate and strengthen our heart. We don't have to go run a half marathon to build our cardiovascular endurance, okay? We can hop on a bike. We can go for a walk. We can go for a jog. There's ellipticals. You can jump rope, rebounders. There's all different ways to boost our cardiovascular endurance. Going up and down the stairs instead of taking the elevator all the time, right? Biking instead of driving. Lots of ways to build our endurance. This is going to make you live longer and live a better quality life by building your cardiovascular endurance, and just feel like you have more energy. Like, you can go for a long walk through Disney World, right? Or like walk through on vacation, or walk through the mall, whatever. I know some people that have struggled with keeping up with their family and friends because they know their cardiovascular endurance is poor, right? So in order to build the cardiovascular endurance, doing cardio, like I just gave you lots of examples, is one way to improve that, okay? And I always recommend starting with walking. Walking is the most underestimated form of cardio, okay? I love my walks. All right, second benefit of cardio, guys, is to boost our energy, okay? There is nothing more energizing. I'm very fortunate that I live in South Florida, so going outside for a walk in the middle of the day, I have a dog, so that also helps, is a great way to boost my energy. When I'm in that mid-afternoon slump, instead of going for the cup of coffee or frappuccino or something, I'm gonna go for a little walk, even just like 5-10 minutes, right? Or in the morning, those of us who do the morning movement or morning workout, definitely a good energy boost. Or in the if we work out in the mid-afternoon or evening, same thing, right? We always can look for a good energy boost, and doing cardiovascular exercise is very beneficial to that. Also releases endorphin. So oftentimes, not only do we feel more energized, we also feel happier and a better mindset. I know me, for example, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm not a big morning person. I'm slow to start. And, once I get my workout in, I'm like, okay, I can conquer anything. If I just conquer that workout, like my afternoon to paperwork, I totally can do it, right? So it definitely helps release endorphins. We feel much better, right? And as Elwood said, happy people aren't crazy, right? So I love this part about exercise and cardio in general. All right, burn fat. So can cardiovascular endurance or exercise improve fat loss? Absolutely. Okay. Now, of course, it really depends on the type of cardio you're doing. A lot of research shows that longer bouts of steady state cardio, right? So for example, if you walk on the treadmill for 45 to 50 minutes or higher, that will put you more in the fat burning state than 20, 30 minutes of high intensity sprints on the treadmill. right? But which workout will you burn more calories in? They're probably equivalent, right? Because if you're going harder at a shorter duration, you'll burn the same amount of calories. But if we're looking to really burn more fat, typically the longer steady state bouts will be more conducive. However, if you're like me, I find these long bouts, an hour on the treadmill, like no thank you, right? So I do prefer the high intensity cardio over the long bouts. That's just my personality. And so it's important to understand that you can have a variety of cardio in your lifestyle to get the benefits. And I want to talk more about that towards the end of the training today. Okay. But yes, cardio can help. However, as I'll talk about in a little bit, you do not want to rely on cardio to burn fat, because the truth is, with strength training, the more lean muscle you have on your body, the less fat most likely you will have on your body as well, and the more calories you will burn at rest, right? So I want to emphasize that. So cardio is not the only way to burn fat by running like crazy. And I'm a runner. I love to run. Well, I don't run as much, but I used to love running. Okay, I was a very competitive runner. All right, so another benefit of cardio, which I think is why a lot of people do it or they enjoy it, is because it's easy, right? It's convenient, right? There's very little thinking involved to do it. I can just, go out for a walk. I can hop on a treadmill. I can hop on my bike and just go. I can watch TV or scroll through my email, watch a show, or just kind of like tune into my music. And there's no thought process. Whereas if we're weight training or following a workout video, there's thought, there's commitment usually involved there. But this is a little bit easier, right? But convenience should not be overcommitment. So if you're really committed to your goals, then we absolutely have to do what's best for those goals. And oftentimes cardio it can be part of that, but it's usually not the whole picture. It's usually a very small piece, depending on your goals. And we'll talk about that here too next. Okay, so these are the benefits of cardio. So there are a lot of them, right? I think honestly, for me, cardio is really more about mental health. Comment here in the chat if you agree with me. Like, I know I'm just in a much better headspace after going for a walk or going for a run, right? I know some of you guys who like your Peloton bikes, doing those classes put you in a good headspace. My sister, I know she used to love Soul Cycle, and so she would say like the mantras in the class like really motivated her. So that can be another benefit of doing cardio exercise. All right, let's talk about the cons, the negatives. Okay, so one of the consequences of cardio is that it will not build muscle. So oftentimes when people come to me and say, I want to build lean muscle, I want to build my glutes, I want to strengthen my arms, all these things, and they're doing tons of cardio. And the problem is that cardio is not designed to build muscle. In fact, cardio actually will break your muscles down. So I'm going to talk about that. Actually, I'll jump into that right now. All right, so it can actually sabotage your gains. So for example, glutes. All right, I love glute building, right? I teach my booty classes. I've been teaching glutes since like 2014. A lot of women, I'm going to pick on the women here. Sorry, guys. I love you. I'm a woman too. Oftentimes, like they want a nice firm butt, right? But they're running a bunch and they're on the Stairmaster all the time. That is not going to help you build a booty. I promise you, okay? That is actually going to break it's going to sabotage your gains. So if you're doing like the right exercises, right? You're doing, the deadlifts and your hip thrusts and the lunges, all these things, and then you're running a bunch, you are undoing all the progress, because the muscle building exercises is the strength, and then cardio breaks down muscle. So for example, marathon runners, okay? And you guys, I want to make this very clear. I used to run like long races. I've never done a marathon, but I have all the respect in the world for them. But notice like they're not the most muscular people, right? Because muscle running for that amount of time and that much cardio, over and over, it will break down muscles, right? So most runners, right, they really want to be good at their sport through also strength training, because they know that they need to have that muscular endurance. They have to have the cardiovascular endurance and the muscular endurance to get through those tough runs, right? I mean, look at the sprinters, right? I was a sprinter. I ran the 200, the 100, the 400, the 55. So that my background's in track and field. We strength trained a lot, right, in order to be fast, right? We're not just running all the time, all right? So we can't rely on cardio to get tone, right? We want to build muscle, not happening with cardio, FYI. And oftentimes too is overemphasized. Oftentimes people will be like, well, I have to burn 1,000 calories a day, right? Or I have to hit my movement goal on my watch, right? And I actually will talk about the watches here in a little bit. Usually those fitness trackers are 20 to 30% off in terms of their error rate is 20, 30%. Super crazy. I did a whole training on fitness trackers. You can watch that here in the group. But oftentimes people over rely on cardio. Like I want to lose 30 pounds or I'm going to run 6 days a week. And I'm always like, well, are you training for a race? Like, what are you doing? Right. And if you like running, super awesome, do it. I run still, not as much, but I do it because I enjoy it. But I don't have the expectation that I'm doing it because I want to burn fat, right? There are way easier ways to burn fat than to do cardio. And I'll talk about that here soon. All right. So oftentimes we're doing too much cardio and not enough of what we really want is to build that lean muscle, which is in the strength training. Okay. So like I talked about these 3 points here. I talked about the glutes. All right. So if you want a nice booty, stop running so much. All right. If you don't believe me, you can actually look at Brett Contreras' profile on Instagram. Brett Contreras 1. He's one of my fitness icons. I got the chance to train with him back in 2015 at his glute lab in Phoenix. Now it's in San Diego. He is big no on cardio. You will never see his ladies doing a lot of cardio, and they're super strong and fit. All right. Too much HIIT. This is big. Take notes on this for all my like Orange Theory people. Too much HIIT will spike cortisol. Okay. And I shouldn't say Orange Theory. That was me. I have no problems with Orange Theory for the most part. When it's done like in moderation, not every single day. Too much high intensity exercise, no bueno. Okay, especially if you are somebody that has a high stress lifestyle. I'll give you an example. Okay, I have a client right now. He is a doctor up in Virginia, and he was working out like 5-6 days a week, right? Which is great. That's fine. But he was doing a lot of like high intense exercise, and I actually recommended him to reduce the high intensity exercise. And it's because when we are under chronic stress in our job, right? And he has 2 little kids. And then you are doing these super high intense workouts at the same time. Guess what? Your cortisol is going to be like going through the roof all the freaking time. We call that chronic stress, right? And oftentimes people that suffer from chronic stress, guess where they gain the weight or their trouble area is? That midsection. Comment below if you have that stubborn belly fat, right? If that's something you really struggle with, like, God, I'm lean in other areas of my body, but I can never get rid of this area, right here. That's cortisol for sure. Big part of it. Okay. So oftentimes that's why I say like reducing the HIIT is going to be really helpful and reducing like too much cardio, because too much cardio, especially long bouts of cardio, that will oftentimes also elevate the stress in your body, right? And elevate that cortisol and make weight loss actually harder. Okay. So keep this in mind, guys, especially if you're always doing HIIT. And you probably see some of my workout videos. Like I do incorporate high intensity training into my fitness lifestyle because I enjoy it and it does deliver results, but not all my workouts are HIIT, okay, for a reason. All right. But again, you have to do what's best for you. That's what I've learned works for me. And actually when I was doing very little cardio, I got really great results. But I also like the cardio, so it's important to have the balance. And that's what I'm going to get into now. So the truth about cardio, okay? The truth is that we have to make, like I said before, focus on the strength, not the cardio, right? Because most people say they want to like have like nice arms, or they want to have more defined legs, or they want to really tone the midsection. Toning the midsection, I mean, nutrition's number 1 for that, guys. We probably know that by now. Doing lots of crunches and lots of cardio, not going to get you a 6-pack, right? It's the strength training, it's the nutrition. The cardio will help a little bit, but we can't rely on the cardio, right? Because we do have to burn the fat, that top layer, doing other things. Okay. Focus on strength, not cardio. And it depends on your goal. So I want to make this clear. So for example, like let's say you're training for a 5K or you're training for a half marathon or something. Yes, obviously you'll be doing more cardio than the average person because that's conducive to your goals. So when I was training for half marathons, or I did a lot of 10 milers, that was actually my favorite race duration. I was running a lot, right? But I also was strength training to make sure that I was, prepping my muscles for these runs as well, and I could increase my time, or actually reduce my time rather. So it really does depend on your goals. But for the person that's not training for an endurance competition, if they want to just build lean muscle and look fitter, typically it is a combination of the strength and the cardio, and strength is emphasized over cardio. All right. Something else you guys need to understand, and my Orange Theory people, you'll know what I'm talking about when I mention EPOC. EPOC is excessive post-oxygen consumption, right? And so what Orange Theory teaches is that when you exercise, okay, when you're done exercising, you will continue to burn calories after. And oftentimes people think, well, after doing lots of cardio, right, that the calorie, Orange Theory promotes that they will keep burning lots of calories after the workout's over, okay? That is true to an extent. What people don't realize is that EPOC, the calories you're burning after you exercise, is actually higher after strength training than it is with cardio. So here's the truth. So if you're wearing a fitness tracker, okay, you might notice that during the class or during the workout, you'll technically burn more calories doing the cardio for 45 minutes than strength training for 45 minutes. For most people, not everybody. It depends on the size, the gender, everything. But typically people will see that. However, what people don't know is that when we strength train, we tend to burn more calories after we exercise because you're boosting your testosterone, you're raising your HGH, and we're getting the metabolism is up as well, right? So that's why we love strength training, and you're building lean muscle. And like I said, the more lean muscle you have on your body, the more calories you will burn at rest. And yeah, the more calories we can eat. Totally true. Okay. And I mentioned this earlier, oftentimes people say, well, God, like I have to burn 1,000 calories a day in order for me to lose weight. And so this number is very arbitrary. It's like, where does this come from? And, how do you know you're burning 1,000 calories a day? Like I said, these watches, this is an Apple Watch I have, 20 to 30% error rate. That's across all of the watches. The Fitbit's not better than the Apple Watch, right? Or better than the Garmin, whatever. They're all very similar, 20 to 30% error rate. So don't go buy the watch, please. Okay. And bottom line too, guys, if you are looking to, tone up, lose weight, burn fat, whatever your goal is there, it is much easier to do those things when you're putting your body in a caloric deficit as opposed to relying on cardio. For example, it is easier to take out 200, let's just say 200 calories. It's easier to remove 200 calories a day than to burn them, right? For a lot of people. And some of you might be thinking, oh no, like I can burn 200 calories in 10 minutes. Well, that's awesome, but not everyone can, right? I know like for me with like my fitness level, my very low heart rate, for example, I will burn 200 calories maybe in like 30 minutes, right? For a high intensity 30-minute workout, about 400 calories, 450 for a high intensity workout for like an hour, just about. That's just me, okay? And I'm cool with that, don't care. But like it takes me 30 minutes to burn 200 calories. I can eat 200 calories in like 3 seconds, right? So oftentimes just by making little changes in our lifestyle, adjusting our macronutrients, we can easily create that caloric deficit. So that's why oftentimes people say it's 80% nutrition and 20% fitness to lose weight or tone up or whatever your goals are, because that's where we want to really focus on. Not the cardio, but looking at nutrition. We don't want to rely on cardio to create that caloric deficit, okay? Especially if there are consequences to doing too much cardio, right? If you are looking to, build muscle, for example, if you want to get strong, right? You want to like max out on your deadlifts. I guarantee you they're not running around, doing miles and miles a week, right? And bottom line, when it comes to cardio, is it's important to have variety in the type of cardio you do, but most importantly in the exercise in your fitness lifestyle, right? If we burn ourselves out doing one kind of exercise all the time, your body will plateau. That's why oftentimes people will shift exercise programs, over and over again because their body gets stuck. So if you're going to the same classes for years and they're the same structure, same exercises, your body will plateau. It doesn't mean that the gym is bad, the instructor is bad, the programming's bad. But the best program is always shifting, right? In terms of the kind of exercises, you're progressing in weight, you're using different modalities, you're using bands, dumbbells, machines, body weight, whatever. And then so the most variety is key when it comes to exercise, just like nutrition. The best diets, the best nutrition out there uses all the macronutrients, right? And I always say this, my clients know this, how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? So we have a lot of variety in our nutrition, we have lots of variety in our fitness. That is something that we don't get bored of. it's something we can stick to, and that's when it's a lifestyle. And that's what works. That's the strategy, really, having all the variety. So, a lot of people ask me, is it better to have high intensity or cardio, steady state? I think a variety of both is good, right? And, obviously having a variety of strength training and then with the cardio, you can really make the fitness, your own goals, right? But it really depends on your goals, right? So it's hard for me to say like you should be doing cardio 2 days a week or 4 days a week, because it really depends on you, right? So if you're with me live here right now, go ahead and ask me a question if you have it. Like these are my goals. Like how many days of cardio should I be doing? I'm happy to answer that for you, because it's hard for me to give blanket statements because everyone's body is different. Everyone's body responds differently to cardio, right? And to strength training. So it's really important that I know more about you. And so that's oftentimes why I don't give out blanket information. But like I said, guys, the most important thing when it comes to cardio is not overemphasizing it and realizing that sound nutrition is the key, and strength training is the key to leaning out, right? And getting to your goals. That is more important than the cardio. Cardio is bonus, absolute bonus. It's like a supplement. Okay, that's how I really want you guys to understand this. So if you are looking to lose weight, if you're looking to tone up and you have this fitness plan that's not working for you, you're like, oh, I'm doing tons of cardio, I don't know what to do now, or I need some support, right? Like what kind of strength training? How much strength training? How much cardio? Can I have carbohydrates to fuel my workouts? How do I eat them? What about protein? If you want help with that, I can totally help you. All right, all you have to do is book a free call with me, createmyweight.com/apply. And a big part of what we do, like I mentioned before, is show you how to have variety in your nutrition and variety in your fitness plan and not being like married to your fitness plan. I think that's really important too, is that oftentimes people get so pigeonholed in a certain way of exercise. Like, oh, I have to do high intensity workouts. Oh, I can only do Pilates and yoga. Oh, I can only do dance. And you know what? Yes, like we all have our favorites, but what's working? What will work for you? What is going to get you to your goals? And sometimes it does require getting outside of your comfort zone, right? So that's kind of where I help you realize, okay, here's where you're at, here's where you want to be, and here's how we're going to get there, right? We're going to do these things you like, and then we're going to try some new things and see how it works for you. Right? Because I know will get you to where you want to be, but you have to trust me in the process. Right? So that's what we do, Create My Weight. All right. So if you're interested in getting that help, createmyweight.com/apply, and we will create this varied, sustainable lifestyle that you enjoy and you get results from. That's the most important thing, guys, because at the end of the day, who wants to do a bunch of cardio, do a bunch of strength training, and not get any results? Like how frustrating is that to invest your time, your energy, your money? Oh my God, like Orange Theory, oh my God, $170, maybe more in metropolitan cities, up to 200. Holy moly, you're getting all this money and not getting results, right? And that's frustrating. So this year, 2021 is around the corner. Give yourself a gift of finally getting results, number one, and how to do that, get clarity. #clarity. Right? Or hashtag like I want clarity. Like what works for me, right? Because even if it works for other people, like other people might go to Orange Theory. I don't know why I keep talking about them. If you work for Orange Theory, I'm sorry. I actually have been to Orange Theory classes. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you. If your friends are doing certain things that are working for them, they love their Peloton, they love Orange Theory, they love their CrossFit, they love their like YouTube videos, that doesn't mean you're gonna like it. It doesn't mean that you're going to get results from it. So what will work for you and what do you like to do? That's where I come in and help you. Do what you love and do what will get you results. So if you want to marry the two and love your plan for life, book a free call with me. All right, createmyweight.com/apply. I'd love to learn more about you so I can see if I can help you. All right. I hope this training was helpful. Please type in the comments here, your big takeaway from today's training. What did you learn that was most helpful? And how are you going to implement that moving forward? So question 1, what did you learn from today's training? What was your big takeaway? And then number 2, what are you going to do this week to implement it? Don't say I'm going to wait till after the holidays. That's ridiculous. Why can't you start now, right? A lot of you are off for the holidays. You got some time on your hands. Use it for you. It's a gift to yourself. All right. Much love to you guys. I hope this training helped you. I love talking about exercise and cardio, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.